There's not too much to say about what's actually being played, it's just an open B power chord. However, there are many different timing intricacies, and of course, Kevin Moore adds some amazing harmony up top. A measure of 4/4 and a measure of 3/4. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, and then it changes immediately. That first change, which is not an itty-bitty change, this is a massive change, a very abrupt change, goes from simple meter to compound meter. Simple meter is when you have a measure divisible by 2. Compound meter is when you have a measure divisible by 3. So it's more like a triplet feel, like this. Triplet, oh let trip, oh triple, triplet, oh let trip, oh triple, triplet, oh let trip, oh triple, triplet, oh let trip, oh triple. That rhythm continues on for 4 measures, and thus far we only have this guitar part as being the star of the show, until this section. Check this out. The guitar part is going back to the very first part that we played. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. Just 4 to the floor, just like that, for 7 full measures, okay? But on the last one, we're going to do a measure of 2/4, followed by a measure of 9/8. So check this out. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, Here, I'm going to go right to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That measure of 9 actually offsets the beat and flips the rhythm around completely. By hitting that extra note at the end, it gives us an opportunity to get back into compound meter like that. And I think that's absolutely genius. Kevin Moore is in on that section as well, with a single note synth line. Now we know how much Kevin Moore loves single note synth lines, don't even get me started. Watch the earlier episodes and you'll find out. The synth line utilizes 3 fundamental melodic devices. The B minor scale proper, a B minor blues with the flat 5th. We'll talk about that more a little bit later because that is brought back into the fold. And the Phrygian mode. So we have this flat 2, flat 5 type of idea going on. So that would look something like this. B minor proper, little sus resolution, blues, oops, back to B minor, blues, and Phrygian. Phrygian, and it keeps going until it's over. Coming out of that, we hit a double time section where it features the exact same guitar riff but in a slightly different rhythm, and we also have Kevin Moore's keyboards on top playing the organ, so he's just playing chords on top of the static B. So here's the Petrucci part. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3. Pretty easy. Nothing to say about that guitar part except it's brutally easy, Mr. Petrucci. But there's a lot to say about Kevin Moore's keyboard part, so let's get into that real fast. He's playing a chord progression where we have a B minor, which is the 1 chord, an F sharp, which is the major 5 chord, and then he goes right to a D minor, which that's the minor 3, resolving up to the B minor once again. Now the minor 3 can also turn this into a half diminished 7th chord, alright? And a half diminished 7th chord by itself sounds like this. So it has a very ominous sound to it. Maybe that's what he was going for. After we hit that B minor resolution, we come back into the D minor to create that half diminished. And then on top of the B, we're now hitting a C sharp diminished. Wow, look at that. So we're creating a C sharp diminished on top of a B, which is the 2 chord on top of the root note. And then we hit into a first inversion D minor chord. into an F chord, which is actually D minor 7, and then right into the B to create that diminished sound, just a straight up tritone. The final portion of the introduction is also by far the most intense part of the introduction. We are getting into some extreme double bass, double kick patterns that will just rattle your brain into oblivion and will probably give you some crippling addiction. The low rhythm guitar of this section is very simple. It just lays down a low fundamental B progression like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then you just chromatically descend from the note A all the way down to E like this. And that's it, just right on that beat, and then you're done. The top part is much more interesting. We actually have some pretty technical stuff to play. John Petrucci finally decided to show up to the songwriting session. Sheesh. He hasn't been of much help throughout this introduction so far, but here he is. We come in as a response to the low B on the rhythm guitar, and we play this. On the second and third fret, a Lydian mode, right? Major. With a trill this time, 6, 4, 6, 8, 9, 9. We come in with unison on that low chromatic line, okay, joining in the rhythm guitar, and then we hop up an octave. Tons of vibrato. Bend here, then a dive bomb on the A. Now that A is the flat 7, which means we have a Lydian dominant mode. Now this is the coolest thing. Usually in the Lydian mode we have an A sharp, but here we have an A natural, which is a flatted 7th. A very tense moment here. If you play an A on top of a B with a sharp 4th, it goes like this. Watch. That's what you're getting out of this. So that's why I'm so enthralled by this section. So a nice dive bomb too to really seal the deal. We come back in like this. More trills, then we just come in on a high octave of the same notes that are going on underneath. So overall, not a very complex part to this piece of music, but it does utilize some very interesting tones. The Lydian mode and the Lydian dominant mode at that. So, wow, what do you think, huh? That's some pretty incredible stuff. So we're out of the intro, and I just have some final thoughts. Kevin Moore is the star of the show here. I know John Petrucci likes to take all the credit because he was doing this on the guitar. Come on, anybody can do that on the guitar. Even Kevin Moore could do that on the guitar. Even John Mayone could do that on the guitar. Even James LaBrie could probably do it, damn it. But check this out. Kevin Moore is making a lot of interest out of one very simple idea. He's making a lot out of very little. Now, usually in real life, we'd call that making mountains out of molehills, and you ordinarily don't want to do that. But with a song, when you're trying to create drama, you're trying to create a scene, a feeling, something that people can reel in for years to come, that's what it's all about.